The latest edition of the European Notebook is available to read over on the website. Julien Laurens features prominently throughout it. Jules, let's start, shall we, with Gabriel. What are you hearing?
Yeah, the Lille defender. Many of our watchers, listeners might not have heard much of him if you're not a Lille fan or a Ligue 1 fan. But he's been one of the best centre backs in the French top flight this season and probably even towards the end of last season as well. He's a 22 Brazilians, left-footed as well, like I said, centre back. And there's a lot of English clubs who are very keen on him, and especially one in Chelsea who I believe, and I was told, have already made a lot of contact and discussion, negotiation, both with the players and Lille. I mean, the three parties are very optimistic that this deal could go through when the transfer window opens, whenever that is. And I think that would be a very good fit for Lille, and in terms of money that they will receive, a very good fit for Chelsea as well, because he's a very, very interesting player, very aggressive, but good on the ball as well. And three, this would be a very good move for him as well, and a really good fit, because I think he's got that mentality of working hard and doing well wherever he will play. So I think that would work for everyone.
Let's welcome Frank Leboeuf into the conversation as well. Frank, how highly do you rate Gabriel?
Very high, Dan. I have to say, I followed him starting playing for Lille the last season and the beginning of the season. I followed him in the Champions League. Yes, of course, he needs to get more experiences, but first, he's a strong guy. He's 6'2". He's a lefty, which is very important and interesting as a central defender. He has exquisite long-range passes. He's very, very accurate and technical, but he's very strong. He's a beast. That's the soccer player-wise point of view. But I talked to Christophe Galtier's coach this afternoon, asking him how the guy is. And as Jules said, he's a hard worker. When last year he didn't pick him, didn't put him in the first 11, the guy never complained, working hard, always trying to give his best. So he's on top of it, a real professional player. So if we heard a little bit about Everton ready to put the money down, as Jules said, the big clubs like Chelsea are very interested, and they're gonna get the very good recruits.
Meanwhile, Jules, tell us more about Eduardo Camavinga.
Oh, you mean Camavinga?
That's what I said, Camavinga. Yes, that's what I said, Jules.
I was only teasing you, because it's not an easy name to pronounce. I mean, let's start with his age. He's 17. When he was still 16, he bossed the game against PSG with Renne at the end of August, at the beginning of the season, where he was outstanding, man of the match by far. Gave an assist as well. He's, again, a left-foot player, midfielder. He could play pretty much anywhere. For me, he's the sort of modern midfielder, or midfielder of the future. If you want, he can defend, he can attack, he can score goals, he will assist. He's strong, but so good technically as well. And he's only 17, like I said, but already pretty much the whole of Europe want him. I expect him to stay at least another year in Rennes and in Ligue 1. That would be very good for his own development. But it might be hard for him and for his family as well to say no to big clubs like Real Madrid or Manchester City or whoever will come hard for him in the summer, because he's that good. He's a wonder kid and one for the future without a doubt.
Frank, what do you think of this player?
Yeah, exactly. As Jules, I think he's a talent. So the first time I saw him playing, it was like a big slap in the face where you say, wow, what's going on here? You know, put it in slow motion. I want to make sure. He's 16 years old, that guy. He already has the maturity. Of course, he has the talent. You see the bright future. He's a fantastic player. No doubt that even he can go to Premier League, but we know that Zidane has a high on him. I mean, he is going to be chased by all big clubs in Europe because he has a bright future. Now, we want to know how the brains follow, but I want to think he's a good guy on top of it.
Thank you very much, Jules and Frank. Also mentioned in the European Notebook is Diego Carlos, linked to the likes of Liverpool, Napoli and Barcelona, and for a lot of money. As we welcome back Sid Lowe. Sid, give us a bit of a scouting report for people who haven't seen him at Sevilla this season.
Well, we're seeing him for the first time in Spain and he has really impressed. I mean, partly, of course, that's the impact of it being the first season, but he's been the outstanding defender at Sevilla. I would argue that he's been one of the 2 or 3 outstanding defenders in the whole of Spain this season. There is something about him that I think means I mean, it's partly physique. I mean, he's absolutely enormous. He's incredibly powerful, very, very strong. He seems to be indestructible on the pitch. He has a fantastic ability to be dangerous at the other end as well as be very strong in the air in his own penalty area. He's a player who I think, while it may well be true that he perhaps doesn't have the finesse bringing the ball out that some teams, particularly Barcelona, would like, I think that's coachable, and I don't think he's a bad player at all technically, but fundamentally he's an absolutely wonderful athlete, and I think he's potentially a very interesting signing for clubs. Now, obviously, we don't know what the transfer window will look like in the summer, if indeed the transfer window opens in the summer and not in the autumn after summer football, if it happens. But he's a player that I think a lot of clubs will be keeping an eye on because he has really, really stood out at Sevilla this season.
Sid Lowe, thank you very much as always. And to keep up to date with all the latest transfer news, go over to our website and click on Transfer Talk. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.